Hey, welcome to another episode of Behind the Bar podcast brought to you by the coaches and clients of RT Fitness Durham, Sunderland, and of course the Barbell Club, where we take you from complete beginner to photo shoot ready. If you need any information at all, there's a link down below, and that's just going to take you straight to my personal Instagram. Drop us a message if you need anything. So on today's episode, we have my very good friend Craig. We've been friends since we were 11. He's lived quite a wild life, quite a free spirit now. Lives and based in Berlin, but likes to travel about. And this one is all about his journey where he's went to Thailand, Phuket, on a street what is known for all of their fitness camps. So he's done like a fitness camp there. I think it was 8 weeks long. So this is all about what he's done while he's been there and what hints and tips from myself for him to move forward on his journey so that those habits stick. So it's a really good episode, and obviously he's a really good friend of mine. So if you can, follow the YouTube channel, give this a share, and most of all, enjoy the show. Well, happy birthday, Craig.
Yes, my birthday. I forgot about that. Cheers, time.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
So this is Craig. Craig was on the podcast before doing the yoga one, obviously about his journey on that. Now he's just been on a mental journey, which I am 100% jealous of. Obviously, I'm a dad, run businesses here. So yeah, Craig. Right then.
Just before we start,
Yes.
I've got you. So it's your 10th anniversary. Congratulations. This is a Tiger Muay Thai 20th anniversary. It's a his and hers t-shirt set for you
yes,
for you and
Sarah.
Sarah.
Get in. I'm gonna look at that now.
I think this, and then this
yes.
is just for you. That's for your 40th birthday later in the year. Some Muay Thai shorts.
It's a long time before I'm 40, but yeah. Oh, buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. This was the place I was supposed to go to. Oh, I'll look at them later. I was supposed to go to, but I got the shits, didn't I?
Hi.
In Thailand.
Oh, is that why you couldn't go? Mm-hmm. Oh, nightmare.
I know, it was,
wow.
What a way to open the podcast.
Yeah.
It was, ordered, drunk, hangover the next day, went to a restaurant, ordered all the starters, thinking that it was going to be thinking they were going to be small. All the Thai lasses just laughing as they do, like proper little childlike laughs. And then they brought it all out, and like the starters were like mains, and they're just all on the table, and most of it was deep fried. So I felt shit and had to try and eat them all from there, and just then 6 or 7 days straight just on the toilet.
Oh no.
Even on the boat trips, had to worry myself. Like it was horrendous. So yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who get their bad bellies over there. I didn't get it really. Everyone was giving me like these activated charcoal tablets if you thought that you were going to get like a bad gut.
Right.
I think I had salmon once or something, and then it was just like a mild thing. But I was avoiding like street food. I didn't like eat anything dodgy.
Did you not?
I mean, no. My flatmate who's from Asia, he was like, "You've got to go there." I was like, "I'd rather not be in bed for 3 or 4 days." You know what I mean? But I was eating like, you get all your food in this course I was doing. It's like it's a place called Pure Prep. 6 days a week you go in, and then they know your name, and you get like the personal trainer covers all your macros and designs your meal plan for you. It's just like Western food, and then on Sunday,
is it?
Yeah. So we can talk a bit more about that later, actually. I wanted to mention that.
Jump in on that one.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously from that way to the meal preps and that, what and where have you been?
Yeah.
Doing this for the last, how many weeks has it been? A month?
I did it for basically 2 months. So,
right. Okay.
So last year I saw my friends from Leeds. They were in Thailand, and I saw them at some gym. But then they were there like a month later. I was like, what they're doing? So I looked into it a little bit. I was like, oh, they're obviously just over there training or whatever, doing fitness, Muay Thai. So I just started Googling like boot camps in Thailand and seeing what came out. And there was a company called BFit, and they put like a full package together where you basically you turn up, you get a personal trainer, your accommodation, all your food catered for, and then you get like, you know, there's different classes. So I was just reading the classes on the internet, you know, different high intensity stuff, whatever they're offering. And I was like, oh, this looks pretty good, this. So I booked up, not knowing where I was going, and then when I get there, I was like, wow, where have I turned up to here? And so basically you get like a month's membership at Tiger Muay Thai Gym, and that allows you access every day for all of the different classes. So they've got like a martial arts section where there's two, like the size of your gym, there's two of them for martial arts, and then you've got like personal training, and then you've got like classes. So you'll have like Western boxing classes, Muay Thai classes, kickboxing classes, and they're just structured throughout the day. You get like a timetable, so you can basically pick whichever ones you want. And then they've got like a HIIT one, a cross training one, and then like a normal kind of like weights gym. So when you get there, the personal trainer, you have a meeting with him, you do all your measurements and the weights and stuff, and then he like gives you a kind of plan, and then he also personal trains you twice a week, like that's
one-to-one as well.
One-to-one with weights, aye. So basically, but Tiger Muay Thai is on what they call Fitness Street or the Soy.
Yeah.
I thought it was called the Soy, but then after going to different places in Thailand, I realized Soy means street everywhere. So it's Fitness Street. So on the Soy, you've got there's loads more gyms. You've got like one that's Unit 27, which is more like high intensity focus. So that's purely for HIIT stuff, but that was like better than the Tiger Muay Thai one. So I went there for extra sessions. But
was this included?
No.
Okay, right.
But then next to the Tiger Muay Thai, there's an Apollo gym which is owned by Russians. It's only 1 year old, and it's like you go to Tiger Muay Thai and it just looks like you'd expect Asian colours to look. It's all like, but then this is Russian. This is what you'd expect a Russian gym to look like. It's called Apollo. So I started going in there for Western boxing, personal training. And it's got a completely different vibe. You go into Tiger Muay Thai, there's like 800 people a day going through, and you just see people doing, you know, Muay Thai, and it's just full of life constantly. Yeah. And then this Russian one, you've got like a few boxing rings, and then they're doing like strength and conditioning. It's like, I guess all of their program is kind of like set how you would imagine, like if a boxer's doing training one, they're not doing boxing training, the other's set up for like that conditioning side, but they're like classes that they do throughout the day. So the reason I went there was because I started doing Muay Thai, and I can see why people start getting into it. I've got a load of friends who do them back over here, because like that's one of the most intense workouts I've ever done. Like those Thai people, proper, like you see people nearly being sick after the sessions and stuff. Like the first one I did, I couldn't even make it to the end of the hour. It was just the fact that you're using kicks and punches and elbows, and I think everyone finds that really interesting. But I thought, I don't really know how to punch that, and so I thought, actually, before I do Muay Thai, I'm going to do Western boxing and learn how to do all proper punching techniques, and then maybe do Muay Thai later. So I did like kind of both of them. So my day was structured on a morning. It would either be like a personal training session with Muay Thai or boxing. Then it would be, and the other days it would be do like a high intensity training. So like 8:30 every day. Like
a conditioning style. Yeah.
And then on the afternoon I was doing weights. I found I couldn't do more than 2 sessions per day, whereas some people who were really fit doing 3 and 4 sessions a day in Tiger, they would do like a HIIT on a morning, then they do like an abs class, then they do like the CrossFit, then they do like because like the daily setup at Tiger is great. You've got like HIIT in the morning, then you've got kettlebells, you've got glute training, you've got like ab sessions, and then you've got the cross training, and so there's like a different thing you can do all throughout the day. But I would just finish, have me food, and then I'd have to like chill around the pool for a bit, and then do my weight session. But I started out doing like 3 a day, and then like my body seemed to collapse, and I had to take like a week off.
Do you know what's mad though? Like how many people think of like obviously from gym perspective for me, that's like a January starter. You've went in all
Yeah.
balls to the wall where you
Yeah.
haven't done much before
Yeah.
that, thinking
Yeah.
I can do this,
Yeah.
but recovery, your conditioning, it wasn't there to
Yes.
jump into that.
So it's a huge learning curve, like going. But the beauty about going to this fitness street is everybody on that street's there for fitness, and if you stay longer than a month, it gets a bit mind numbing because the conversations are the same every day. It's like, oh, what class you doing today? You know, what you eating? What you know? What's your goals? And it's good at first, but it does get a bit mind numbing. But the fact that you're there, you're just fully focused on like learning about health, nutrition. They've got like seminars on nutrition and like weight training, how different things affect your body. So like, and then I started watching like stuff with my spare time. I started going on YouTube and watching people like Andrew Huberman podcasts and
Right, yeah.
and learning about, you know, different parts of nutrition and why, you know, like strength training is important, and just educate myself while I was there. And then on the street, you've got like they've got physios which I needed to go to because my back was, I thought I'd put my back out. They've got like what else have they got on the street? Like there's massage parlors. Everyone gets massages all the time because you're training so much.
You'll have all the recovery stuff there now, does it?
Yeah. They've got like ice bath places and sauna places, so I started like getting into that as well. That's the first. There's one which is like a kind of cold, like 10 to 15 degree one that I went in, which I could do, and then there's one like the 3 degree one. I couldn't last in there, but I think the more times you go, the more you get used to it and you can stay in it. That's pretty good. The Thai massage, first time I've ever had one, brutal, like squealing in pain. Like there's like this massive woman like with that full weight on her elbow, like in you. But afterwards, wow, what that does to your body.
That must have been a sports massage, or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the Thai ones are similar, but it seemed the way that like releases your muscles and like allows them to recover. Yeah, it's fantastic. So the whole setup for like recovery and training and eating, and then the times that you're eating. I also started trying to like do this intermittent fasting and eating twice a day. So I put all my meals into 2 meals, basically after I trained, in both times in the day. But again, this pure prep, you just rock up and say, right, give me my 3, breakfast, lunch, dinner, protein shake, and it just comes out. And it's just perfect, you know, like, and that's all been. So it was interesting the eating side of things, because my training put me on 2,000 calories, and then it was like 90 grams of protein and then higher on the carbs and fat, and I just wasn't recovering. And I was like, something's not right here. And he was like, no, it's fine, just stick with it. And I did do it for 2 weeks. I was like, these are supposed to be the exercises. I'll trust the process.
Yeah.
But I was always the one that, you know, carbs are bad, you know. And I was like, but this is when I started looking online, and I was hearing that I should be having like 1 gram per pound of protein.
Yeah.
And then he changed my diet to that, and then things started falling into place with my recovery. I knew, like the next day I was feeling a lot better, and but yeah, the recovery side of things, that was a whole thing in itself. When you train so much,
2-3 times a day, you needed it.
But people were training every day without a break. They were training like 6 days a week, and the only day they had off was Sunday. And you were getting to like Monday, people were knackered still. They weren't recovered for the next week.
Yeah.
But it's because you go for a short space of time, people want to get the most out of it. But I thought, I'm not looking at this as just an 8-week goal, you know what I mean? It's like, I want this to be like implemented long term, you know, in my life. So that's when I started saying, right, you know, have a day off in between, you know, every 2 or 3 sessions, have a day off or whatever. But yeah, so that was it. But you said something. So I think I lost like 5 kilograms in 7 weeks, which was, you know, not bad. I'm happy with it. If you could do that over a year, I'd be happy.
Continuously long, yeah.
But so you said like the hard part's keeping it off, and that's where I'm at now. It's like I went to Bangkok, and Bangkok's like London or New York. The food's unbelievable, you know what I mean? So it's like I was still using the hotel gym. I was walking and stuff. But I could feel myself, I've got to do this, I've got to try that. And then now that I've come home, it's my birthday weekend, you know, I've been eating, drinking. I'm like, damn, I need to get back to me like routine in life again, because it's so easy just to So the whole like keeping it off thing is it something you can maybe, you know, talk about how, you know, that your experience over the years with people and, you know, advice and shit like that.
That was about my fourth question down.
Right.
But yeah, it's yeah, fucking, you've answered a lot there, Craig. I mean, like, I'm going to ask this. So prior to obviously you going away and obviously making the decision, you're seeing everybody else doing it. What was your relationship like with health and fitness before you went away? I mean, you're 39 today.
Yeah. So this is a great question. So last year, I joined a gym. It was earlier in the year, and I started going, and that was fine, but what happened was I took a second job on and my life went super stressful and I was just like, my mind was all over the place. And the routine fell to pieces. Everything in my life fell to pieces for 3 months while I was just like chasing this money. And then I never really picked it back up again until I decided to start this, to go on this fitness thing. So I was like, right, if you're going to go there, you're going to need to start going to the gym and you're going to start put some prep in. But it was like once or twice a week maximum, and there was no real routine built. And so this is one of the reasons why I decided to go for 2 months instead of just a month or so. It was to build this routine. I can already feel in my system. I go to the gym now, like I feel like I've built a routine, or like the repetitiveness.
Habits,
yeah. So that's. So, but I'd gone to India a month before that, and I tell you what, India was way more intense than the Muay Thai place. Like this ashram thing I did for 3 weeks. It only last 2 weeks out of 3. It was that intense. It was like a full day's activities of like, but I won't go too much into that. But it was a lot of walking, so I got a little bit of stamina up on the walking, but not a lot. But I couldn't do any like resistance training and stuff. So for a month in India, I didn't really, I wasn't able to prepare for what was coming with the high intensity stuff.
Yeah, it was more slow, steady state.
Yeah, and I was the unfittest person in the HIIT classes, like for sure. And you know, there's loads of fitness freaks there, and you know, but I knew where I was, and I knew I hadn't trained for years, and I wasn't, you know, beating myself up about it. It's just frustrating again when the recovery takes longer because you're not as fit and stuff like that. So yeah, so that was my relationship. I knew the way that I looked at it was, I'm coming into my 40s. I'm all my goals are going to be health based and fitness based, and optimizing my, you know, human function so that I can, you know, be energetic in my 40s, achieve the goals that I want to achieve in my 40s. It's not necessarily about having a six pack and, you know, finding you know, women. But you know, that's a byproduct, then you know, you take it kind of thing. But that's the goals you had when I was 20, 23, 25, 28.
Although when we were going to the gym when we were 14, 15,
that
was the goal.
But weirdly, I think there's something subconscious coming here. So me and Lee are going to Miami in a year's time for me 40th, and I knew I had to get in shape for that. And I think subconsciously something's, you know, it's manifesting before this, you know what I mean?
Right.
Trying to get in, that was the best shape of my life 10 years ago, the last time I went there. Getting back into that shape and starting early enough to do that as well.
So you know the time frame. So you know that it's going to take longer than, say, when we get clients, it's like they'll get in touch 6 weeks before a holiday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you found that understanding now of, well, I'm getting older.
Yeah.
It isn't going to happen any faster. You're probably more educated anyway.
Yeah.
Like I'll probably bet that you actually have a really good knowledge of health and fitness.
Yeah, I mean, I got madly into it years ago. So like I had but since then, there's obviously the science has come on a lot.
Yeah.
You know, but it's all there on YouTube. You know what I mean? You're sitting in bed, you can educate yourself lying in your bed now, and that's all I do. I watch podcasts and educate myself. You can think you're some kind of expert when, you know, you're not really, but it's fascinating how much you can learn and implement. And that's what I'm going to try and do when I get back to Berlin, is like just implement the stuff that I've learned with the eating and stuff. Because for me now, it's like, okay, you know, you can lose weight, but I've got a really high body fat percentage. It's like 28. So you could lose weight, but I could lose 5 stone. I could lose 2 stone, but my body fat percentage was still the same level. So this is something for me that I'm kind of going through about how do I lose the fat. And again, that's something you could maybe comment on, is, you know, because essentially the way that you used to do it was you'd bulk first, you'd go to the gym, you put all the muscle on, and then you'd shred the fat. Now my fitness trainer said, look, because you've got such a high level of fat, if we do bulk you, you're going to be really bulky, you know. So he's like, let's strip you down first.
Tear in your eye. Can I bulk first?
It's easier that way, isn't it? Because you don't have to do as much cardio and stuff. But for me, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'd like to lose. I'd like to get down to like something like 85 kilograms if I could this year. Like,
you could do it.
Yeah. And then worry about the muscle. But I'm going to just continue try to train twice a day when I get back to Berlin. And then like, I'm just like going to buy one of these scales that you get like with the apps where like it measures your body fat percentage and stuff. When you get myself one of them Apple Watches, just being conscious about like, how much I know that I'm not active. I work as an office job, you know what I mean? And even in Berlin, you know, you use public transport. Now I'm thinking, right, okay, if I've got to go somewhere, it's an hour's walk away. Let's just walk there instead, you know what I mean? Just because, and when you've got these trackers, I was always like, why would you measure your steps? But it also tells you like other stuff, you know, like how much calories you're burning, and they were saying if you don't monitor your progress, then you know you won't achieve. It's better to plan and monitor progress so you know where you're going wrong and stuff like that, and then you can address it.
Keeping all the data.
Yeah, rather than just going, right, I'm going to crack on. I mean, if you crack on and put the hours in, you're still going to get results, you know what I mean? But I think all this data now helps you, and it just makes you realize. I think it makes you conscious about your life, you know what I mean? You can like look at it. I know I'm not active enough, but this just like, it's like that book Atomic Habits. It's like, you easily just slip into like unconscious habits, but if say if you want to read something, you just leave it out at night, or you leave something out so it clicks into you. You go, oh yeah, no, I should.
That's the book I'm currently reading, so I keep it at the top.
Oh, nice. What is it?
Warriors, Rebels, and Saints.
The Art of Leadership. Oh, nice. Sounds good.
It's quite heavy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But that's why I keep that one there. Mm-hmm. Well, on the Apple Watch, I mean, Fitbit's like the great. Apple Watches are brilliant. Whoops are good and all the rest of it. But I like the Fitbit because the battery lasts 8 days. Apple Watch you have to charge overnight. Right. So if you're actually trying to look at the data over calorie burned over a 24-hour period, which is always better.
Right.
You can wear these through the night.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I would say. Don't get you don't need the fancy one. And don't get your notifications put under it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want that. There's two different. Well, first of all, so the new Apple Watch does like an ECG. So if I'm having a panic attack, I can check whether I'm going to die or not. You know what I mean? Does it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
The Apple
all of them do now.
What was I going to say about the Apple one as well? The Apple Watch thing was also not. I like the idea of
the Apple Watches.
I like the idea of it meaning not having to look at my phone, like picking my phone up. But I don't want to start messaging and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you do get yeah, I think you're right though. You know what I mean. You can look at your notifications later.
You can turn your notifications off. You don't have to like say your WhatsApps or your Facebooks or whatever else coming through. You can turn them all off if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think they're a big distraction for people because even in like when people are in the sessions, like if I see people with notifications going off and stuff like that.
I'm gonna get what you said, the Fitbit, definitely.
Just because when people are saying like for me, so it's like. They'll say, I've only burned 1,400 calories today. And I'm getting, like, that's impossible. Yeah. It's like, what, like, do you take your phone off in the night? Yeah, 10 o'clock. What time did you put it back on? 9. So there's 11 hours worth of data missing there.
Yeah.
So in that period of time, even if they haven't moved, they've probably burned 500 calories.
Yeah.
So that data is missing, but they think they're only doing that. So then they think they have to reduce their calories further than that. To burn, like, so that means to lose a pound a week, they'd have to be eating 900 calories.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great point actually.
That's a breakfast.
Yeah, I wanted to monitor my sleep as well because sleep was a struggle over there. I think my body, you know, the muscles getting used to it, and I was struggling. I never usually struggle with sleep, but I was having issues over there. I was trying magnesium. I was trying, you know, all the different things. But again, that's something I think I need to spend time on and work on. You know, like taking the electrical stuff out of the room, and I don't know if there's any.
But you're in a different bed, a different pillow.
Yeah.
Like it's even a different blanket is going to upset the sleep pattern. So it's like, I wouldn't have worried about it too much. Plus you're recovering. I mean, you'd have been in pain.
Yeah.
different country, different humidity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once I think in your place, like your home, if you've got everything right there, then perfect.
Yeah.
And just invest in a fucking good mattress.
Yes, I know. I stupidly like kind of panic bought one in Berlin, and it's not the right one, and it's only like a couple of years old. But I'm gonna have to get. Yeah.
You spend a third of your life in it.
I know. Yeah. I'll probably spend more than most people there because I don't spend time in the living room. Even though my mum's upstairs in the bed.
We've got a Premier Inn one.
So my dream is when I get my own place is to only have my bedroom is the bed only, and so that I only sleep in there. There's no being watching on your laptop and stuff. You know what I mean? It's purely everything's cut off. Whereas now I've got my DJ equipment in there. I've got my office in there in Berlin. And I've got Berlin's just like that though, and I've got so. But that's just a goal to work towards when I get me a Ibiza place next year.
That's all we've got.
Yeah.
We haven't had a telly in our room.
Yeah.
Ever. No telly now. That is like
nice.
Just the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like we've got obviously Xbox not set up downstairs, so everything's there. It's like, just sleep in it. Premier Inn mattress is the boy. Fucking hell. Right, where we're at then. Why did we choose this instead? I mean, why did you choose this instead of just like training at a gym then? So
I'm trying to like always think about like, I try to observe my life over a 12-month period and understand, how it is. And what I noticed is in winter was, it's the hardest time to do anything. Your body's got less energy. So I'm like, if I go to a hot country, am I going to go and do stuff every day? Yes. And it was really just like hacking my own habits, because I know if I think if I was in Berlin, I was determined I would probably, I can still do it. But I just thought if I go somewhere like this, and it's like, it's just, I want to escape winter every year, you know what I mean? And people would say, people would say, well, you could do it in winter. But I'm somewhere warm in winter. Yeah. It's it's a kind of, I'd much rather be somewhere warm in winter than somewhere cold, you know what I mean? So it's the heat thing. So I plan to try and be away every winter, and it's also a productivity thing, because like, even with the music stuff that I do in winter, overall I'm just less productive, you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm losing productive time. So by going to somewhere like Tenerife or Asia, you just expand that production window more and have more energy. So that was the main reason.
And I think going back from the habits and all the rest of it with you, so you in Berlin, you're doing these same things over and over again. Yeah. So your DJ stuff, you're going out to X club or whatever else. Even if you started the gym, like say before this Thailand thing, hopefully the habits will continue on afterwards. But you would have just slipped back into the old habits because you're in that environment. You've changed your environment.
That's exactly it.
And that's what has to happen. So when I was saying to you, like, this is going to be the hardest bit, because now you're coming back to your like you've come back here at your birthday, you've seen family out. Yeah. Those old habits,
for sure,
are going to be the fucking hardest thing to like. Because it's not even to break the habits. It's because you're in that environment.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how to as long as I'm DJing, it's really hard to. And I'm always going to be in a party environment. I'm always going to be losing sleep. So this is something I've been thinking about. Usually I like to get up at a certain time, and I think I'll get stuff done in the morning, whether it be yoga and fitness and stuff. So I'm now starting about thinking I might try and become more of a night owl, meaning when I go out on a weekend, it doesn't affect my sleep cycles or it's not as bad. Because if you imagine if I get up at 5, 6 a.m. every day, and that's my routine, but then on a weekend, I stay up all night, my body's all like this. Whereas if I say, right, let's get up at 10 a.m. instead and stay in bed up till like 1, 2 a.m. shall we say, my cycles are going to be a little bit closer together, and that might help my rhythms through the week.
Right. Okay.
So that's something I'm thinking about. I don't like the idea of getting up later on in the morning, but I'm thinking, because I live in Berlin and my job's in the UK, I don't need to start till 10 a.m. anyway, because it's 9 a.m. in the UK time.
Right.
So I can actually get away with that. So
do your work first.
Yeah.
And then do everything else after. Like training wise, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then I can train on a lunchtime and then train, and then train. Yeah, on the morning I'm gonna try and like, and if I go on a lunchtime at the gym and do the weights when it's a less busier, and then with the cardio side of things, I'm going to be cycling around the city in Berlin, like try and add the cardio to your everyday life behaviors. So even if you don't do HIIT 3 times a week at the gym or like anything else, you're still getting that movement in, and that with the weight.
That's what you needed in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you the full blow down, unless you want it, of course.
What?
Like, what are you going to do training-wise now?
So
what's the plan?
So the plan for me is I'm gonna do like a 4-day-a-week weight. So this is 12-week Gym Stepani. Like, it's called shortcut to size. It's just just standard, like shoulders, chest.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna find like a boxing gym. I'm gonna continue me boxing personal training.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
That's enjoyment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna do that maybe twice a week.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, so if I can do that, that's like fairly high intensity. Like, and then I'm gonna try and play golf more actually to get like walking in, and then like cycling, and maybe that's. I'm not gonna try and overload it.
I was gonna say
I'm not gonna try and overload it. I think if I can do that, then plus like activities, I go to a club on a weekend and dance for 6 hours. That gets some calories burned.
It does.
And then I was even thinking about getting one of these meal prep companies, but I don't necessarily think I need it. But for the first few months, just to keep me eating correct, get one of these meal delivery prep things where I just get me meals there, like I've had in Thailand, and then I know that I'm doing the right eating as well. Otherwise, I'm going to buy an air fryer.
What I know, but why? If you've got the money to be able to get a meal prep company, right?
Yeah.
And it's worked for you in Thailand.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working for you before that, not getting a meal prep company.
Yeah.
Then just get a fucking meal prep company.
Yeah.
Like, and don't think of that as even I wouldn't even think of it as a short-term thing.
Yeah. Good point.
Because with that, if you can do that, it's one less thing you've got to think about time-wise. It's like somebody can make all your meals, and it's like, say you're strapped for time, you have to work later at work or whatever else, right?
Yeah.
Your meals are then done.
Yeah.
And it's one less thing to think about.
For sure. So I'm going to do that. So I mean, I'm honestly like, I'm going to New York for 10 nights, and again, I'll get plenty of steps in, but I ain't going to be training, and that's probably the worst place you could go for eating and stuff. So I'm already like, I'm eager to get back to Berlin and start training again, and start so I can feel it inside of me, you know what I mean? That I'm almost like stressed that I'm not in my routine.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to going back and trying try to build it, because
So why wouldn't you train in New York?
I was considering actually. It's a bit complicated because it's just the amount of things that's planned basically. I'm like, the first weekend I'm going to be going record shopping, DJing, and then I'm going to travel. Then it's like a stag do, and then I'm going to Philly. I was thinking about trying to find Is
there a gym in your hotel?
I think so. I might go to the gym. I think weight training I'll do. Like, I did that in Thailand. In Bangkok, I booked 2 boxing sessions, and when I turned up, there was no one there, and they didn't reply to me emails. I said I paid online like 60 quid. So, but I was thinking, how cool would it be to go and do some boxing one-on-one in New York?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, that's where the kind of home of boxing is.
Yeah.
So I might do something like that. Like, definitely, that's what I'm thinking now, like planning this kind of stuff. I might, but I know New York's going to be quite an intense, not much time, but we'll see.
So any time now I go on holiday, it's took us a big while, even since I've been training. So even up until, it was when we got married, I always had this thing where it was like, if I'm away for a week, I won't train.
Yeah.
But now I won't book a hotel if it doesn't have a gym.
Yeah.
But that's because when you were speaking about your body clock, my body clock is like tuned into 5 a.m. So it's like where Sarah and Castor or the boys will be asleep or something like that. I get up, so I need something to do in anywhere. Yeah. So I might as well hit the gym. And I actually, because of because of me, obviously, where like I need to rush my training sometimes and people are in the gym, I go to these other gyms and I get the best sessions ever when I'm on holiday. Because obviously that's my passion training, so
Yeah.
it's like, but then I've got that free time then, so
Yeah.
I actually really love it.
Yeah.
And it keeps us in routine.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And if you're wanting to keep them habits in play, where you're saying you're itching now to put them back into play, it's like, imagine another 10-day stint.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think so. Like,
You're going to have your plan. You said you've already getting... Like,
yeah, exactly. I'm just following it.
build
It's just a
plan.
case of following it. I'm actually going back to Berlin tomorrow until Thursday. So if I can get some training in next week, and then I think I'll just look at New York and then just say, right, get up on and more. Because this is something, again, watching all these YouTube and things, you just hear little nuggets where it's like, look, you don't have to, even if you're not sticking to your plan, just go down and do some press ups, some body weight squats. You know, you can do just, each section. And, and that's what I did in Bangkok. I think that first night out wiped us out for a day, and it knocked me plans in the space. So I was like, right, okay, you can't do every single body part in 4 days. Just do 3 in 1 day.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Sounding. So what's the biggest lessons you've learned doing this? Obviously the habits, what you're going to take away with.
Yeah.
I did have it in brackets, environments and habits.
I hate these questions. Like, my sister was
lesson?
like, what was your favourite part of Thailand? Or anything to do with favourite or like number one thing.
But
I think it's hard to, but no, I mean, I can think about it.
It's one of the best things. Do you know when people come back from holiday, right? When people come back from holiday, they'll generally say the worst things would happen to them. So whenever someone came back from holiday, I'll always say, what was the best thing about it? What was your favourite food? Because generally they go, oh, the flight was delayed, or the weather was bad on one day.
Yeah.
So I'll always ask that positive reinforcing question to try and get it out of them.
So there's a guy in Berlin who's an amazing guy. He runs a music travel guide, and he does all these musical talks and puts all these great content out, and I subscribe, and I was like, oh, I really like the content you're putting out. And he's like, what was your favorite one? And I was like, I didn't really think about it, but I'd have to go back and thinking about it. I couldn't be bothered to do it.
Yeah.
But I know it's a generic question he asks people, but it's a good question, and it provokes.
Because it makes you think,
and it also gives him feedback as well. So I get, I'm aware of what these things do. And one thing I hate is when people come back and say, "Did you have a good time?" It's like that's a yes or no question.
Yeah.
And you don't really get any information about the holiday. But
so what's the biggest lesson? Yeah.
Biggest lesson. Biggest lesson.
What's the number one thing you've learned, really?
I mean,
you were right on the nutrition side of things, weren't you? With the protein, that was quite a. You knew that, didn't you?
I think one of the things that was how important muscle is in terms of regulating your insulin and carbohydrates and stuff. I learned. I mean, the biggest thing I've been learning is actually about how the carbohydrates and insulin works in your body, and the pots of the different glycogens and all this kind of stuff. And basically, it's like, and when you eat meals, and how those carbs react in your body. So, for example, now I've started having apple cider vinegar after if I eat carbs, because it brings the glycogen levels in your blood down, and it's really just an awareness about what carbs do, which different carbs, how they affect your body and stuff, and the importance of the carbohydrate side of things in the diet. I think I went quite deep into rabbit holes about those things.
In a positive light for carbs, though. Or just an educational side of
just more just educational. I mean, just knowing that. I mean, I don't know how to really. I thought, I'm not going to be on a keto diet, but I don't know. It just now I will have more meals where it's just vegetables and meat, but I still have
You need the carbs for recovery. And performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but again, it's hard to talk about that because when I'm listening to experts and I'm not the expert, you know what I mean? But it was just more of an awareness about how your liver, how the role your liver plays, and needing to keep that clean and stuff like that, you know, and how alcohol's going to be and the effects of like sugar and stuff like that. So I feel like, cause like in Thailand, they put sugar in everything, like
But they're so small and skinny.
yeah.
But they're fit as fuck.
So I went and got like a full Bupa health check over there. This is when in that said my blood sugar was like in the pre-diabetic, but just in the pre-diabetic. So I went to like learn about like blood sugars and how like foods affect that, and then it got me thinking about alcohol, and then it talks about your liver. So I've been trying to have like milk thistle and stuff like that, and just like learning about like the body functions really, and how they play a part in the whole fat, you know, storage systems and shit. So I don't know, like it's like I said, I can't necessarily regurgitate the, you know, the technical side easily, but
more of the nutrition and the effects what it has on the body.
Yeah, and more the nutrition and understanding the importance of like that muscle plays in like longevity and stuff like that.
We need more muscle as we get older.
Yeah.
And like we said, with 39, Craig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, do you know what it is? Actually isn't a bad time to start, because to be fair, most of my clients are like between 35 to 55.
Yeah.
Like in that age range, and them are just starting out, and from there, obviously it'd be mint to go back and say weight train from 16-year-old onwards forever, but who, like most people don't. It's when they get older, it's like, shit, I've got to do something about it.
Exactly, yeah.
But you're at quite a good age, because obviously I get clients who, I mean, one of our clients is nearly 70-year-old and has just started his weightlifting journey. Do you know what I mean? And like, yes, I'd love to rewind the clock back to put the mass on, because it's a very slow process for him. But yeah, it's just one of them things. If we could,
this is another interesting point for me, is the metabolism versus when I was in my 20s, you know, and how my body, you know, either how easy it is to lose fat or how easy it is to put muscle on. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's different at my age compared to when I was in my 20s. So like, you know, understanding, and I guess if it's slower on both sides, you know, that can lead to frustration and you know, oh, I'm not getting the results I want and stuff. So like you've really got to have the mentality of sticking with it over like a longer period, and this is why I don't have any short-term goals. I mean, I do have short-term stuff, but generally I'm always trying to have like long-term thinking. And I never when people always said, if you see what you can achieve in 10 years versus 1 year, and they're like focus on that, and I brushed that off, but now it started to make sense to me. And like with my musical like parties and labels and stuff, when I flipped from the 1 year to 10 year, the whole thing transformed. I was like, damn, well, I can start a record label, I can do this, I can do that, and I was like, wow, I feel like in 10 years you can achieve everything you want, but with the short-term mindset, you're like, oh, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm beating myself up, and you're like, I don't think it's as, you know, I've got things I want to do this year, you know, number of releases, blah, 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 but having that longer term one, I think makes a big difference.
If you reflect back on the person you were 10 years ago to now, you'll see how much of a improvements in X, Y, and Z. Think of your DJing, what you were like, say, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like even your the knowledge of music, what you had 10 years ago, like it'll have been like such a narrower frame, and now you've probably got this huge broad horizon of like appreciation for different kinds of music as well. And
definitely.
It's short-term goals and long-term goals. I definitely could talk about that. But but it is like even say for us now, if you put in 10 years now, right, training 4 days a week weights, just walking as well, just like that, 4 days a week, getting your protein levels right. Imagine what you're going to be like in 10 years time, like the physique you'll have just by doing, and that's not pushing it.
Yeah, totally, exactly.
You've just got to train in New York.
Exactly.
Ticket on that. So what's the plan now? So no, let's not do that one. If it's a year's time from now, where do you see your health and physique at? Obviously where you're going to is Miami. So it's like, if you think of Miami.
So the way I'm looking at it is I would expect to be like, for example, my body fat to have pretty much halved, like from nearly 30% down to 15. I seem to remember the first time I went, 15 was about a nice number, and it looked.
15's lean.
Yeah, I'm not the kind of guy who wants to be going down to 10, like, and
Yeah.
going super crazy with it. I'm not that vain, you know what I mean? So let's just say
It's nice for a photo.
Yeah, yeah. So let's just say 15% body fat down to. I think the body fat percentage is more important than the kilograms, but 85 kilograms, I think that's about 13
How
stone.
tall are you?
6 foot, and say 6'1".
85, 15. Maybe it's a little bit lower in the kilos for that.
I was originally thinking 80.
Yeah, I would say around 80 kilos.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I know
80.
I'm smaller than you.
Okay.
But if you've seen my last photos, I was 70 kilos dead on, which is childlike when you think of body weight.
Yeah.
But
so this is a good thing, actually, because I took the nutritional advice from this guy, but I feel like I need the whole nutritional side is a bit confusing, because again, this is, you know, do I want to cut down short term, or if I'm going longer term, is there a different style of plan that I can do to lose, you know, and I'm unsure about this side of things, like how to do my macros and calories, because I've been working on 2000 and it seems like it was a good base to lose from, you know, eating 2000 a day. But so I was thinking, okay, well, I'll continue with that as long as I'm losing weight, and then in the winter, let's just say, as soon as cut as much off as I can for this summer without worrying about the muscle, and then once, say, September hits, go to, like, you know, muscle building mode, and then in the new year, 3 months before Miami, go into like cutting.
Are you wanting me to answer that?
Of course.
Yeah.
I want free advice.
So well, it helps people who watch this as well. So just on a guesstimate, what I would look at from there is, like, what are you weighing now?
So my BMR is like 1900 calories.
Yeah, but
so now I weigh. I mean, I was 95, but since Bangkok, I could have put some back on in the last week or so. But let's just say 96 kilograms roughly.
So I mean, I'd get you on like a minimum of 180 grams protein per day. Mm-hmm. That's where I would set it at. Depending on how, like, if you're talking over a year's goal, I would 4 days a week weight train. Yeah, obviously we want to keep as much mass as possible. Obviously with the protein, that's going to help keep that mass on from there. You're going to be in a nice newbie gain.
Yeah.
So your strength, even though you're in a deficit, is going to go up.
Yeah.
And if your strength is going up, therefore your muscle mass is actually increasing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But you're going to be in this nice newbie gains, which is beautiful, where you're still getting stronger as you're getting leaner. With your steps wise, you don't know yet. So you don't know your gym activity outside it. Like, you don't know your outside of gym activity. If you say stuck to a base rate of, say, 10,000 steps, I would do that. And 10,000 steps and 2,000 calories, you're going to lose quite a bit of weight.
Yeah,
just purely on that.
Yeah.
So I'd probably up your calories a little bit more, to be fair.
Yeah.
Between 2.2, maybe 2.4 even. See how that goes. If you're sticking to 2,400, 10,000 steps, hitting your 4 days training on the weights and hitting the 2 days of boxing because you like it, which is really, really important.
Yeah.
Because you know you're going to stick to them. And it's not even because of the sweaty side of it. It's more of just the enjoyment. And do you know what I mean? And it's something what you can stick to forever. And obviously the weight training is going to keep that muscle mass on, what you need for when we get older.
Yeah.
And I would just continue on that and just see how it goes. If you're getting a nice trend going down all the way without it wiping you out, then happy days.
Yeah. I guess it needs to be continuously monitored. That's why I'm getting these, like, you know, these things to help with the aids, like the scales and the watches.
Data is king.
And like you say, exactly. And if it, I guess once you plateau, that's when you start making adjustments. But
then you've still got a lot to play with. If you see you're on 2,400, you've still got a lot to play with there. And plus your steps aren't wild.
Yeah.
So it's like, say if I put somebody on a shred, they'd be on 15,000 steps straight away. They'd be on 2,000 calories straight away.
Right.
And that would be it.
Okay.
Like for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but where the guy said you're best off losing it first before you think of bulking, I agree.
Right, yeah.
Like, I think you should cut right down, because then it's called like a bit of a body recomposition. You get down, see how you look underneath it all, and then you work up from there.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Sounds good. But it's a year goal.
Yes.
And there's loads of bumps in the roads in that one.
Yes. I'm not going to make too many, like, holiday plans this year and try and keep my social life reasonable.
But you can do it mint on holiday. You could have, like, you like I don't find anything wrong with carbs or anything like that, but it's like, say when I am on holiday, or say somebody's on holiday and they really need to stick to it,
Yeah.
I'll tell them, it's like, right, for breakfast, lunch, tea or whatever, just have 0 carbs. Not because I don't like carbs or anything like that. It's just a way to be able to, because you can't track your food when you're on holiday.
Yeah.
It's nigh on impossible. So I'm just taking away some calories out of it already. And then
Yeah.
that last meal of the day, enjoy it. You're on holiday, obviously,
Yeah.
fucking have what you want.
Yeah.
But obviously still try and get your steps in, still try and get your training in from there.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. Appreciate that. Thanks.
But you can do that in a year. But what I would probably do, if you, in the Atomic Habits book, I'm sure it said about, there's this process of like writing a letter to yourself from a year's time.
Right.
Of like saying, right, I am fit Craig, I am 80 kilos, I am 15%
Yeah.
body fat.
Okay.
So how I got here was I had 2,200 calories
Nice, yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
I did me 10,000 steps, because then you can, it's like reverse engineering it, but that
Okay.
is that future person
Yeah.
telling you how it was
Nice.
done.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that, definitely.
It's a bit wishy-washy, but
No, I like it.
yeah. Right, then last one. Would you recommend people do what you've just done?
Yes,
Obviously, jealous dad here.
I would recommend going there. I wouldn't recommend using the company I did because it was too expensive. What we realized was if you'd gone in there and did it on your own, it was probably less than half the price. This company are just making a fortune because really you've got a personal trainer twice a week, but then you're at your own devices kind of thing.
Yeah.
We realized, I think for a month's pass at Tiger Muay Thai, it was like maybe it's like a few £100, and then getting your own accommodation would be way cheaper. But I would recommend it, like going to the fitness street and immerse yourselves. I guess if not everyone can go for extended periods, but what happened was anyone who was there for 2 weeks extended at least 1 or 2 weeks because it was that good, and they wanted to be in that environment, and they thought that if the longer they stay, the more goals they get. I would definitely say, especially in winter, it kind of like turbocharges you a little bit to like, push you into this. If I went and did it again for like multiple months, my friends who are like pros there, what they do in Thailand is they get mopeds and they travel, but they find Muay Thai gyms everywhere, and they just train and travel, because the soy, after you're there a while, it can be like get a little bit much, it's the same stuff every day.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've never been anywhere in the world where I've seen you so immersed in fitness, health, nutrition in one place. And it's like, that's why I go to India for the yoga stuff, because when you in that environment, you can't not like it. I didn't see anybody who wasn't, performing or getting out of it what they wanted to get out of it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I would say go for it.
Right then, a year's time we'll have the Miami one.
I'm scared, mommy.
80 kilos, here we come.